Well, good afternoon, beautiful, precious ones. I know I haven't showed my face in a while, and there are reasons. As usual, I hope and pray all is well. All is well here. I've actually um, prepared to go home to a funeral. My granddaughter's father passed, and I went and paid my condolences and showed my face and fellowship some with them. And I'm going to come back in just a few minutes and I'm going to talk about that. Okay, I had to pause for a minute. Oh, God. I start, before I even got to, not my hometown, but it was probably about 30 minutes from my hometown, my GPS took me south, then it took me east. If I had went the way that I normally go, it would have been so much traffic. And I haven't been in that much traffic in years. So I believe with all my heart that the Lord let that GPS take me the opposite way. So to make a long story short, and it was raining, it was pouring down raining. So when I got to where the funeral was the day of, and I got there 10 minutes late. But I was a bit teary-eyed before I got in there for this reason. And I hope and pray, because he had 2 weeks to be flat on his back, and to get it right with the Lord. But what I want to talk about is why so many do not want to give their life to the Lord. But then you have those that they talk God, but they don't really know him. Because if you really know him, you would show some fruit. There were you wouldn't just talk it, you walk it some. None of us are perfect. We all fall short. There is every child of the Lord, there is something that we do, that we should not do, even if it's nothing but a thought. And I want to say, have no doubt, I'm not perfect. I admit, I tell anybody I sin. However, the sins that can send me, I'm talking about me now, the sins that can send me, well, not just me, anybody, because it's the word of God, I don't do. See, that's what we need to know. Are we committing the sins that will send us to hell? Are we doing that? This young man, and I won't talk so much because, like I've said in the past, you don't know who's listening. We don't know. What I do know is my mother, my father. I know they are not, because they are no longer here, and him, he's no longer here. Some believe in spirits coming back and talking to you, and just according to the Bible, that's just not so. According to the Bible, now, it's just not so. I was just sad because, and I'm not going to waste my time wondering after someone passed where they are. There are only 2 people that I believe in, well, 3, with all my heart that they are with the Lord. And that's first starting with my brother. We called him Little Pete. And my birth mom and my husband. I believe with all my heart, those 3 right there. And, those 3 right there, it's not because I witnessed to them and led them to the Lord and prayed over them and read scripture to them and played, spiritual music. If somebody is sick and they've been given a death sentence, are we to sit around and laugh and talk? I mean, they right there in the room now, they dying. Are we to just sit around and talk and laugh? And, it's like we rejoicing that they're going on, but a true child of God not going to do that. He's not going to do that at all. When you're spiritual, you messed up. I admit I'm still messed up, but I know, whether somebody's on their deathbed or not, I know to pray, to cover them and to cry out to the Lord. Lord, in the name of Jesus, help them. Help them to seek your face. Help them to know you. Let them know that you not just want to just beat them up over the head and throw them in the hell. Let them know that you're full of love and grace and mercy, and that you understand a lot of things. That be my prayer, especially for my loved ones and my friends. And, I have both that's in trouble. I have subs up here that I'm sure in trouble, and we need to know we need to know without a shadow of a doubt that the God that we talk about is the same God that we serving. Because you can talk about a holy God all you want, but lifestyle shows who you serving. Oh God, Lord have mercy. I gotta go, but I'll be back shortly, because this is not exactly how I want to address this. It's not how I want to address it at all, But I actually was just doing a little test, but I'm going to go on and upload this video. I actually had thought about, I'm sitting right here at my laptop. I had thought about, because when I was going live, I was going live on it. But one thing about a video, you can choose to upload it or not. And, I'm actually dressed for to do a little walking. And not that I, try to get up here all dressed up, because I don't, I really don't care anything about that. I really, really don't. I'm 73 years old, and there's no way I'm going to try my best to look like a spring chicken, because that's impossible. You start getting older, bags come, things start to sagging, especially if you haven't taken care of yourself. But the mother of this precious one that went on, his mom is 80 and she still looked good. She was so glad to see me, and I was glad to see her. And that was the funeral was in a town that I lived in for many a years. I married in that city, and not a soul in there that I knew apart from my daughter, my granddaughter, my great-granddaughter, and the mother of the deceased person. All those people in there, and I didn't recognize anyone. That's how long I've been gone, But if I was to say I'm so and so and so and so, at least half of them in there would say, yeah, we remember that, But I'm so glad that it doesn't matter. It doesn't. People like to act like they some big deal. Y'all, we ain't no big deal except for to the Lord, Oh my God, I gotta come back. I don't. Well, one thing, I'm still tired. I haven't even been in my workroom, Well, I've been in there, but I ain't done no work, I'm still a bit tired. And even before that, it's like after I hurt my knee, I sort of slowed down some. And life is just so beautiful. It's just so wonderful. And we don't have to be like a racehorse. We just don't. And we don't have to get up here. I mean, if you're up here, to make money, fine. And maybe when the fall come or the winter come back, well, I be, stuck in, because I don't like to get out in the winter months. I stay in a lot when it's cold, But I may, start back, doing things, to get monetized. But right now, that ain't, it just ain't it. 'Cause it's some work, there's some work to do to get monetized. But I want to lead people to Jesus. I want the words that come out of my mouth to not fall to the ground. It's about souls. It's not about money. And this is a free site. And like when I was posting, I was just mimicking what DoorDash was doing. Get your own YouTube if you 50 or something like that. I'm not the exact thing that she said. I don't try to memorize the exact stuff that woman says. And I don't even want to bring her up here in this, But let me just get off of here. And I will be back, and I want to lead some souls to the Lord. I want to start back, when I started out talking about particular ones that's popular. They popular in the drama world up here on YouTube. And man, I would have been monetized if I kept going like that. But then the Lord showed me, it's like he was saying, which way you gonna go? Is you gonna do this to make money, or you gonna, try to win some souls up here? And so I started, giving my testimony and talking about salvation and praying up here. And sometimes them tongues will come out, and I had to get off of here, because that's very personal to me. But I also don't believe in quenching the spirit. So when I come back, and see, the thing of it is, all those that started out, don't stop, don't do this, keep right on doing it. People don't, it can discourage you, it can. And for a minute there, months ago, I got discouraged, and it wasn't about money then. When I had over 3,000 views, it wasn't about money. I actually enjoy it, and I enjoy it now. I enjoy it. But there are other things that I'm doing, and outside, spiritual things outside of YouTube, people that I would not put up here on any social media platform. Conversations, and some conversations I will put up here for an example. But other than that, I'm not gonna, there are things that I could do to put up here, like that funeral. I could have put, things up here. And my granddaughter, my great-grand, we rode around in the city, and I showed them places that, a business that I had, their first business, as a matter of fact, two places that we lived, my birth mom, well, three, because I lived three, we lived, because after my husband, and after we married, we moved into a house, and I got out of that city housing. But anyways, I'll be back. All right, God bless all. I hope and pray everyone have a safe, prosperous, that's what a lot of folk want to hear. They want to hear about money. That's why they follow DoorDash. Money, money, money. If she was a child of God, if she was a true, and she said, that lady been harassing me for a long time. Yes, I read comments. This man called, say we need to treat her like a god because she is a god. Man, I want to get up here and do a long video on that, but I didn't. I didn't. So she feel like I'm harassing her. I'm exposing. Do you know how many people gonna end up so miserable, so depressed? Some may even take their life if they listen to her. Some gonna end up homeless. They got children. Oh, Trump cutting out food stamps in Section 8 and, school. There's a lot of stuff that's being cut out. And you telling people to quit their job and get on YouTube. Telling people not to work. Making people feel miserable. I mean, I must admit, I've done jobs before I met my husband, before I got into business for myself. I've worked in hotels, making up bed, cleaning toilets and stuff like that. I worked in a cleaners, pressing clothes. I worked in a restaurant called Hell Oars, preparing food that I ain't never even heard of none of that stuff, So I worked a lot of jobs, but I wanna share this last thing right here. The mother of the deceased is 80. She might be a little old. I know she's at least 80. She worked for many years for a company that's all over the world, and she retired from there. And she worked doing other things. But let me tell you what she's doing right now. She's working at a McDonald's, prepping food with a bunch of young folk, and she enjoy it. And she telling people, she gets Social Security. Yes, she do. She don't have to work, But some people really enjoy that. It keeps them active. It keeps them going, and the older you get, it's certain jobs you cannot get. So to me, it's a wise, smart, Bible says if you don't work, you don't eat. But she can eat whether she work or not. But wise people, as long as you can keep moving and can keep doing it, and if you want to work, work. But it's a fool. I read a comment with this person saying they quit their job and they own YouTube, but they ain't got, and I went to that page and they ain't got no more about 6, 7 views. That is a fool. Yes, I'm saying it. You are a big fool. Anybody that quit their job, and especially if you got children, but you got to stay somewhere. What you going to do? Lay up on family, lay up with a man, not going to be independent, going to be like a whore, a slut, Man, this lady right here don't know she could be, look, ain't no could be in it. She digging a hole. That's what she doing. Because there's a lot of people, and she's saying that those that talk about her hate her. Lady, you listen to me too, I don't hate you. She's saying this lady is harassing me and I don't know her. LOL. Like that's funny. You think somebody gonna harass me? I'm gonna laugh. It's gonna be funny. And it won't be funny to me. There are people that you mess up their life. They can find you. They could be right there in your city. It won't be no cave for you to hide in. You better be careful. It's a warning. It's a warning. You messing up folks' lives. Now, there are some people, they're going to make it, but they ain't going to make it because of you. They not going to make it. I listened to a man, good Lord have mercy, make over $100,000 a month. Look, my eyes got wide and man, them antennas went up and I'm saying, oh Lord, But when I go to the estate sales and stuff, I thought about doing that. But I be serious. I be hunting. I ain't got time. If I was going just for fun, which it is fun, but there are things that, we can do. And like this lady, she go to different sales and she's on YouTube and she's showing her profit. Now that would be a smart thing to do. If like fashion clothes, for instance, go into these consignment shops and these thrift stores and stuff and estate sales and flea markets and yard sales and stuff. If you know what's popping, as young folks say, as being an older person, I say, if you know what people buy, the fashion that's selling, people paying hundreds, even thousands of dollars for clothes and shoes and stuff. If you know that, hunt. It could be like a hobby and you can make money off it, but don't quit your job for heaven's sake. Don't do that. It's, Jesus. Let me get off of here. God bless you all. I hope and pray all is well. And you have a wonderful, safe, prosperous, and a spiritual, Don't have a fleshy weekend. Be spiritual as best you can. Not today, but every day. Seek Jesus with your whole heart. And lean not to your own understanding. No, every day is not peaches and cream, you know, but when you think about it, they are. Okay, till next time. Bye bye.